gone too?
No, I'm here.
Okay, one of the things that we were talking about is trying to send a calendar invite, because many people today live on their Outlook calendar.
Yeah.
When we send out invitations to these meetings, do it in the form of a Outlook calendar invite. And that way we know also because a lot of people just blow right past these if it's not on their calendar, you know?
Oh, I agree. Those are helpful. Yeah. You just accept it and add it to your calendar. Those are really good.
Right.
So just to give you a little update, Warren, from the last meeting, because I was taking notes about changing that little icon next to our website at the top. So I was able to do that, like Whitney suggested. But then she also suggested or told me about the not secure website on the, there's a triangle warning, not secure. So I was like, oh, well, I definitely need to address that. So I did. But in the process, I contacted our hosting company, Bluehost, purchased a firewall to protect that, remove the forums, but now my website's propagating and we can't access it. So I did fix the problem. They did not tell me that was going to happen before they started it, and now we can't access it for 2 to 4 hours. So we won't be looking at my website today.
All right. Well, yeah, and I was gonna try to focus more upon on your website.
I know. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No, I mean.
And Dr. Lesser, John Miller is on the call too, so I think it will be helpful to have him on this call with questions that might come up with the intricacies of some of the questions that come up regarding some of the topics that he specializes in too.
Right. And I just got off the phone with John about 15 minutes ago. He called and we had a really nice chat. But I don't see John on the. Is he?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
He's right here.
You are. Hey, John. There you go. Hello. So what we were just talking about, John, is sending out calendar invites to people because we obviously don't have maybe people blowing right by this meeting.
Yep. Live and die by calendars these days.
Yeah, right. So Tia Lynn has a company called Critically Loved. I want to say Critically Yours, Critically Loved. And what we did this morning, or actually earlier this afternoon, a little bit afternoon, was we went through her social media plan and we also reviewed her website. And I don't know if you heard what she was just saying. She reviewed the so we can't access her website. But so John has a unique set of skills regarding internet functionality. And so rather than go back through the exact same content that we did this morning, maybe Tia Lynn, you could just give kind of a brief background on what you do, your organization, and maybe then we could summarize some of the more salient points that we came up with around during our noon meeting. And then John, we would welcome. I guess there's only a few of us here, but we would certainly welcome hearing any of your thoughts and hearing about what your company does and what you specialize in. Okay.
Sure. Also, I got Google actually keeps a cache of web pages it's seen that people have visited. I threw it in the chat there. I sent it only to Laura. I guess I can't send it to everyone. So Laura can resend if she wants to. So you actually can see the site through the Google's cache. It won't let you do anything, but you can at least see what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Google's kind of cool about that.
So we can see Tia Lynn's website, Critically Loved website, but we can't navigate through it. Is that what you're saying?
Let me see. You can click through it. Some stuff will work, some stuff won't. But at least you can see like the layout and the pictures and how it looks.
How do you do that?
I think I'll need Laura to send that
Is
chat
that
link
something
out.
that I need to do from my end?
Yeah, because I tried to put it in chat, but it only lets me chat straight to you, not to everyone else.
Okay, so I click on that.
I just copy and paste it and resend it out to the entire group. That way they can see it as well.
God. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
Yeah, most stuff will work. Some things like forms won't work, and like it's things that require actual interaction won't work. But like just viewing will work. At least all the pages I clicked on so far has worked.
Type in cache at the beginning of it?
How I did it is I went to Google and I Googled Critically Loved, and it gave me the top link is criticallyloved.org, and it has like a little triangle next to it. and you click on that little triangle, it'll give you the option to do cached mode. And you just click on cache, and it'll bring out the version that Google has saved to its own servers. So while
So
you
now-
can't get the Bluehost version right now, you can get to this version still.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, yay. That does work. Awesome.
Okay, I have copied it. Where do I paste it where everyone can see it?
It should be, I think you're as the host for it. You should be able to type it where it says like to. You'd select like all
Oh,
and just drop it in there, and it'd go to everyone.
oh.
Yep.
See, learn
And I also
something
can
new.
just use the screen share too when we're looking at it.
There
Okay,
you go. Yeah, it went to everyone.
so I sent it the link to everyone,
Yeah, that works for me. Yep.
and then you all have to click on the link.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, see, you learn how to do something every day. I love this.
I mean, great. Wow. Okay, so Tia Lynn, you developed your own website, right?
I did. I built it out myself. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
not great at it, but it gets us by.
Well,
It could be
that's
much improved, but we don't have the $7,000 or $8,000 to revamp it, redo it. So it's just what it is.
Well, you know what, Tia Lynn, I figure something's better than nothing. So,
That's right.
They got them
Right.
these days.
It has
Well,
definitely improved over the years. I'll say that.
hey,
well, let's-
Benny,
yes,
Dr.
yes.
Lester, just let you know we have about 9 people on the call.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, good. So welcome, everybody. So Tia Lynn Scott is our first case study. And we went through her social media plan at our noon meeting, and then we started to get into her website. But Tia Lynn, can you, for the benefit of people who did not attend the noon meeting, will you explain what you do and how you came to found Critically Loved?
So my own older daughter is 20 years old now, and she has diagnosed with a life-threatening internal bleeding. And it's a really rare condition, one of 6 kiddos in the United States that has a condition, and trying to navigate all the denied medical claims and out-of-network items, and just how you plan for having a life of hospitals and all the practical side of it too. It took me about 10 years to get that. So after that 10 years, founded Critically Loved to help other parents that are kind of in the same situation as what we are. And we just help families walk alongside them, answer practical questions with school, insurance, medical bills. We provide events for them to get to know one another so they can have organic support. And then we do things like professional counseling to support the families and help them through hard times. So any way that we can help support them, and then also our partner organizations that are our other nonprofits and pediatric health providers that we work with. We have 49 partners, and any way we can support what they're doing, they can support what we're doing to better support families is what we do. We have a lot of focus on that. And then kind of the heartbeat of what we do is our group support with Bible studies around the community at churches. And right now those are being held via Zoom. And that has been just wonderful support that we hear over and over again, especially right now with isolation, that these parents need support because they're more isolated than what most people are with their children who are very seriously ill, a lot of them, or immunocompromised, or just different conditions that keep them at home. So that is basically what we do. Since I wear so many hats, I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to social media or website upgrades or learn. I could learn it. It's not my forte. It's not where I need to be spending my time. I need to be working with these parents who need the support. So really got a lot of feedback. It was great feedback from the first session, and we'll be implementing those over time. But just willing to learn ways that I could better serve our families and better make use of my time that I do have to dedicate to this area.
So where you are in your evolution of your social media strategies, you pretty much developed that on your own. But you do have, we learned this morning, you do have a budget where you could say allocate about $10,000 a month to either Facebook ads or Google ads.
No, that's a grant we have from Google. So it doesn't cost a nonprofit anything.
Oh, got it.
So Google for free gives us up to $10,000 a month in free advertising. However, we're not utilizing that because it's not set up correctly.
Right. And one of the issues that we talked about this morning is really knowing where to use those funds to maximize your return. And
Correct.
right. Another issue we talked about is when you broadly talk about the immunocompromised children that you all serve, and some of those children are acute or chronic, that it helps really people understand when you break the indications or the conditions down. For example, autism or spinal. Can you go through some of the children, some of the conditions that you
The diagnoses?
Yeah, right.
Sure. So we say it's everything from mild autism to life-threatening cancer and everything in between. So you're talking about cerebral palsy, you're talking life-threatening cancer, could be diabetes, it could be spina bifida, Down syndrome. We do service developmental disabilities. However, there's more supports for them. So most of the families that come to us are ones that just have like serious medical conditions, and a lot of them rare and they're medically complex. So they might have, 5 different diagnoses and they don't really fit into one category. There's no specialty charities for them. So that's where we service most of our families.
One of the questions that we asked you is, what are you trying to achieve through social media? And your answer was community awareness, engagement of volunteers, and support for families we serve. So far, which one of those functions have you seen the most success in your social media initiatives, and why or why not have, why is that? Can you just talk about those 3 elements?
Yeah, so one other area besides community awareness would be donors. And so that's one other group we're trying to reach through our social media. So I kind of wish there was like 2 different critically loved pages, one for just like donors, people, volunteers that want to be involved in it, one just for the families that we serve. But having 2 separate ones, I think might be confusing for people. and I don't know how I'd manage that. But so I'm trying to tailor to both of those groups, and within those group, within this group over here, the donors, volunteers, community awareness, that's all kind of one people that we're serving. But then some of our families that we serve end up volunteering, and they end up being donors, long term. Not many are donors, but a lot of them volunteer and they give back through the nonprofit. But I don't know which one is most effective. Probably with the parents, because like I was talking about earlier today, the blogs I write that are shared with, within other groups, within special needs groups, or the events that we have that are shared with our partner nonprofits or with special needs moms or the groups, hey, there's this free event for special needs parents, come with me, and they'll share it with that. So I would say that's probably the most effective use of social media that we've seen as far as number of shares or likes or things like that.
Okay. What's your biggest need right now? Is it donors, or is it volunteers, or community awareness? What would you say?
Definitely donors. We really would like to develop our individual donor plan, because that's pretty much non-existent. I do a lot of grant writing. I do some bigger individual donations, but like the monthly ongoing, $25 to $100 a month, where people are just, a monthly, that would really help with our budgeting for sure. That's where a big focus is going to be on ours this year.
All right. So then my follow-up question is for anybody is, so how do we help develop a compelling message or compelling stories to enhance the conviction for people to donate using social media? I just throw that question out to anyone, really. How would we help you? What can we do most to help you in that regard with ideas? Is Whitney on the call?
Yeah.
Okay. I only see 4 people. I don't know why.
Warren, at the top, do you have a little blue arrow?
Okay.
If you click the blue arrow, it should slide and let you see everybody.
I need to learn a lot about social media myself. So if we're looking at Tia Lynn's website or her plan, and she needs to try to garner more donors for her organization, what ideas might we come up with for her to use social media to reach that end? Anybody?
I think that one thing that you can start adding, Tia Lynn, is stories to your Instagram. because the stories are very active and it's what attract people. Not long ago, I took a class through the SBDC, and one of the speakers was saying that the best times to add those stories are at the 5 time. That said, at the 5 till time. That said, at 9:55, 8:55, because most people get in the office at 9 o'clock. So the last thing they do is they look at an Instagram post, or maybe at 11:55 or 12:55 before they come back to lunch. So maybe in the afternoon, after people leave, the first thing you do when you get in the car at 5:30 is you look at your phone. So those type of times, add a story and be religious with that story. So if it's every morning, like 3 times a day or 2 times a day, twice a week, do that. But create that awareness by being active and add stories. And
Okay. What kind of content on the stories? Just like things that we're doing, or a like just funny meme? Like what kind of things?
anything
Behind the
that
scenes stuff is always good.
anything that attracts people to you.
I didn't
I'm
hear what you
sorry, I
said.
interrupted somebody.
TLN, if you're doing like set up for an event, behind the scenes, like what you all do to set up for an event.
Okay.
You know, if you're got a team that's just sitting in the office putting together binders, you could take a quick little video of that and say, you know, making binders for new families to help them, you know, whatever.
Let's
That's
say
a great idea.
if the parents are amenable to it, like buy-offs of them too, like a feature of a kid's like, this kid is little Joey, he's sick with this, we need your, can you help us type of thing. I wouldn't ham up too much, but with Instagram, it reaches it really reaches a younger demographic, and there's a lot of emotional play in there. We've seen it with a few of our clients there, where Instagram integrated with Facebook, because you can, they're the same company now. You can post on both, and Instagram with hashtags has a lot of outreach. Not just the pictures, but a visual thing. That's a story, a picture of a face. So it brings the emotional impact of this kid is in pain, and everyone goes, oh, my heart. Here's what you.
Maybe even TLN, if you've got some families that would be willing to let you record them, giving you a little, you know, 30, 60-second how you all helped their family.
Yeah.
We do have some
Well,
testimonials.
Kathleen, one thing that I know about Instagram, and is in my experience and the demographic of, let's say, my friends, is that when we look at Instagram, we want to find things that are happy or that motivate us to do something. So the stories are very short, like videos or pictures or just photos, where you can include music, you can include notes, you can include messages, you can copy other people's clips and put them there. If you want, we can get together and I'll show you how to do that. I'm not an expert and I don't know the demographics itself, but for example, if you add a picture of you and your daughter, like the ones that you have on your Instagram, you put a note, she's my biggest blessing in life and I will do everything to continue having blessings, you know, or for her or whatever. You can add a song. If you have a very cute picture with your daughter in an event or with any other family, you can clip that picture, put it there and add a song that, you know, have a message or it's relatable to that picture. And those stories expire, okay? Every day you can save them. The SBDC has a guy there, I think his name is Jeremy, that is their social media person there. And he gave a class yesterday about creating content, creating your logos and etc., and how to manipulate Instagram. Laura, if you can send me Trialine's email, maybe it's on the invitation, but if you can, I'll send you the presentation so you can see what I'm talking about. And we can also sit down and I can help you with that if you want. I should have my daughter. I'm not that good.
Tia Lynn's
I can-
email address is in the invite that you all received for the
Okay.
calls today. Mhm.
Perfect.
And I can have my kids help me with that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
My,
when in doubt,
20 and
ask a
22 years old.
5-year-old. That's what I do. So
Speaking of
I guess I
demographics,
do have a quick question then. What is the difference? I now understand what you were saying about Instagram, which I think is fabulous, but what's the difference really between that and what a blog would do for you? I guess there's no pictures in a blog or anything like
It's
that, right?
the age of people that you're reaching.
The age of people. So you're going to
Yeah.
reach the younger generation through Instagram?
Mhm.
I would
Correct.
add that blogs typically, you'll only find a blog if you're going to criticallylove.org or through Google. Instagram typically has a much wider audience, especially through the hashtags, especially seeing like through Twitter and such. When someone searches for puppies, hashtag loved, hashtag whatever, they don't get only their friends. They get everything out there that somewhat matches that hashtag. Whereas a blog typically is just a story on someone's website or a story on a blog site. Instagram typically is a much broader audience of millions, hundreds of millions, if they get the right hashtags.
So that's
Susan,
the
that
other
might be a good
key.
question for you, for John.
Mhm.
You were asking me how to reach out to the schools, and you might want to do that with hashtags. I don't know. You two could talk about that after the call.
you know, and for older people like me, we are more likely to go on Facebook. And ostensibly, older people would have more disposable income. I don't know if that's always true, but it seems like older people that have more time, who do have more funds, might be viable donors for you. So, what advice would we have for you regarding? Is it the same advice that where you would use the same kind of content that we just talked about with Instagram for Facebook?
They are actually owned by the same company now. So if you set up the integration, you can post to both at the same time.
Hmm.
So it takes a little bit more efficient, I guess. You post to one, post on both.
Well,
Okay.
I will say on both, watch your analytics. That's something you see with Google AdWords. Definitely take advantage of. I'm making notes on my other screen here. Definitely take advantage of the AdWords credits they've given you. That can be very powerful because typically that is expensive for most people. But if you set up your AdWords and your SEO correctly, you can use what's called analytics. It basically shows who's coming to your site, who's coming to your blog or your Instagram post, where they're coming from. It can usually tell you like a demographic, age, where they are geographically. It can give you some demographics there. It kind of helps you hone in your target audience. If you notice, if people of between 18 and 25 in Oldham are coming to my site a lot, you kind of go, what's going on there that's got everyone interested in my site now? Should I target that with what's called a retarget? That's kind of a weird idea. It's a lot of marketing jargon, but it tells you like something's going on in this area that's got people interested in me. Is there like a church that's been talking about me, or is it just organic knowledge? But analytics they can become overwhelming to keep on top of, but just let's take on once a week just to kind of tweak them a little bit, just to see what's going on. It really does help because it gives you actual actionable metrics.
we were talking this morning, John, about how we build. I guess it's the backdoor to regarding SEO, how we craft certain words, and I guess we really don't know how to do that. I mean, how she would need some help, I think, with building her SEO.
SEO is dark magic. It's hard to build towards SEO. There are people who I work with a guy named Patrick Ryan down in Paducah with Reflect Media. He's who develops web pages. I usually hand that off to him. I would recommend contacting him if you want to look at your web page, because he's actually very good and he's very cost effective. He does most web pages for under a couple thousand, and for a nonprofit, I would guarantee he'd make exceptions for that, because he is in that same market a lot of the time. SEO is hard to lock down because it is intentionally by Google and by Microsoft left vague so that you can't game it. But in general, the idea with SEO is to add words on your page that demonstrate the knowledge. So Google is actually really good with their AI and making sure that what your page is what someone's looking for ish. So don't put, like my example, I would say don't put text on pictures. Make sure it's actually text, stuff you can select with the mouse because it searches for that. Make sure you have SSL turned on. That's if you have the little triangle, that's bad. Make sure you have
Yeah,
like the little
Whitney,
lock
I
symbol.
fixed it.
Yeah, that helps tons. That brings you up immediately by a lot. Like you're doing, make sure you keep continue adding blog posts. The more changes on a routine basis Google sees, the higher it ranks your page organic searches. That helps your SEO a lot. It looks especially for that. Link backs from other places, it kind of gets like a web of credibility. So like if my page links your page and I'm not saying my page is a credible page, but if my page is known for a lot of people come to it and I link yours, it shows Google says, okay, this other group links yours that is known to be credible. So that brings your credibility up by association. So like if churches are linking your pages or schools are linking your pages or sites that are known to be credible link you, it brings you up as well. Kind of like all boats float on a flood. I'm not great with sayings, but along those ideas.
That's a big to-do list.
No,
Prior-
that's good.
Trying to prioritize.
That's something I work with our partners on. So I have all of our partners on our website with their logo, click a link, and then ask them to list us as a resource for the show. And most of them,
I can't hear Tia Lynn. Can anybody else hear her?
A little bit. I have a headset on though.
Can I
Oh,
give
it's
you
gone
another
entirely
idea?
now.
That's better.
is that any better?
Yep.
That's, I was saying that's something that I really focus on is having our partners list us on their website. So even like Cincinnati Children's Hospital has us on their website. So a lot in their resource, tabs, I try to have them do that.
Your voice went out again. It's weird.
Eileen, another idea is, as I mentioned before, and I don't know how close the chamber works with SBDC, but contact the SBDC. They do have those resources for you, and some of them are free of service fee. And also, when I go to your Instagram link, I do not see. Are you all listening? Am I active on your page?
Yeah, I can hear you, Benny.
Okay, thank you. When I go to your Instagram page, I don't see that your website is linked to your page. I see that you have a donation, a message, and an email, but there is not a click to go straight to your web page. And I think that should be a good a good link for you to add so people can learn more about your nonprofit.
Tia Lynn, basically all you do is go to Instagram and edit your bio and just type your website in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what I do with that is I usually have our website in the link bio, but right now, since we're like the last post I made is like to purchase the gift cards for Texas Roadhouse, a fundraiser that we're doing. There's only one place to put a link, and so I add that link, and then the next post I make, it'll be a different link. I'll change the link every time it's a new link. But when we don't have something special going on, then I do make it our website link.
Can you have your website there without a link? Just have your address here, and then always have those offers. But the thing is that when I click there, yes, I noticed you have the Texas Roadhouse fundraising event, but I didn't see anything about you. When people go to your page, you want them to learn about you.
Okay.
Benny, we talked this morning about trying to put up near the top some of the keywords that people might use. It's like some of the conditions that of children of whom you might be helping. And we thought that might help the branding, right? Because one of the things that Tia Lynn talked about was the fact that the name of the organization is kind of general, right? So we're trying to hone that down so that your purpose and who you take care of really jumps out. I wanted, ask, we talked a little bit about the Google ads, right? And the amount that you do have a grant. But I don't know if we've really dug deep enough into that to garner any advice from people in terms of how you would allocate spending, what kind of ads you would put out there, where you would post those ads, who you would target.
Yeah.
And these are the kinds of questions that come to my mind, how to spend the money.
Really like the idea of trying to get an intern from a college or someplace like that that could help without costing us a lot of money to work on the SEO and the Google grant utilization.
Right. Just some guides really to kind of direct you. I mean, you have some money to spend. I mean, you might as well use it, right, for your benefit, but you want to spend it wisely. So that's the question that I don't have an answer to. If I was in your position, I'm trying to think if I'm sitting in your seat, well, that sounds really good, but I don't know where to go with it. And maybe an intern, I think somebody was pointing that out this morning, somebody else on the other call was pointing out that an intern might be helpful, but they may not have the experience to really be able to guide you in that area. So, and you don't have a big budget. So that's where we were going back to the purpose of our chamber. It's not just networking. People think of chambers as networking where you find leads for your business. Our purpose is much deeper. We really try to help each other, and we want the friendships to, we want to cultivate friendships. So I think somebody this morning, Mr. Mattingly, was that who it was going to try to set somebody up with you. Is that what's left?
Chris Mattingly, yes.
Yeah, Mattingly, right. So I don't know if there's anybody else on the call that could maybe hook you up with somebody that would help you, give you advice on how to spend the 10 grand grant that you have.
They give you 10 grand a month for AdWords. That's really significant, actually. My company only spends about 400 a month for all of our AdWords advertising. AdWords is somewhat complex, but not too bad. There's actually a lot of good YouTube videos on it. I'm not an AdWords expert. A lot of it, I found out, you go to YouTube and it's like Google or search on YouTube, how to set up AdWords. The big thing is go to adwords.google.com to set up your account. And from there, it'll ask you, say, prove that you own this website. And there's some little hoops you got to jump through on that. But setting it up is not bad. For the most part, it'll want to do.
Up already.
Say again?
We have it set up already.
Okay.
It's just not being utilized. Like,
Okay.
because we don't have it set up correctly with the right keywords, we're not like utilizing hardly any of our budget.
Okay. It should, as long as you feed it some basic keywords, it'll start watching the traffic and it'll start sort of suggesting new ones that you can add to it. It kind of has positive and negative keywords. Positive keywords, where it usually calls it keywords, are the ones that say you want these things, like critically ill. I wouldn't necessarily use that one, but it'd say, okay, these are ones we're looking for, and negative keywords saying we don't want this. So like with my group, we want IT support. We don't want Sullivan University IT support, because they're not trying to call us, then they're trying to call Sullivan. So you got to kind of hone on that. With $10,000, though, you don't need to be necessarily that picky, but you will get more junk traffic if you don't have those filtered out. But what I would almost say do is throw most keywords at that you think are somewhat related. And then Google is pretty good about saying, yeah, you're not getting any hits on these. You should probably take it out. Or these seem related based on our algorithms. You should add these. For my own site, it took me probably about 2 or 3 months of honing to get to where it's like pretty good, to where I'm getting more wheat than chaff. You don't want to throw too much time at it, because it becomes like some point it just runs itself. But it does take a little time to get really configured and tuned in.
Really good advice. Thank you, John. Thank you. Great. So, okay. What about, can we get to your website now? Can we go through it? Can we look at it? Spend some time.
Let's see. So can you all see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are all different icons, and I contacted them and asked when I was doing the, checking on this not secure thing, and So glad that's fixed now. Whitney, I'm so glad you told me that because I didn't even know my website was not secure. So we now have a firewall, which is why we can't see the real live version of it because it's propagating right now. But and also fix Whitney, put my logo next to the name when it's working. It is next to the name now. So thank you for those two things. That's very helpful. So all of these are just areas that parents can come to for resources. I'm not sure how much it'll let us click through, but so this is where they can start. There's videos on here. There's step-by-step instructions of things they need to do right now, all things I wish somebody would have told me, 15 years ago when my child was diagnosed. There's like forms that they can click on, fill out that are just Word documents. Website takes you to different pages. Again, more videos, and then list of pages at the bottom. Go back. Probably the one that we use the most are events. It gets updated the most on the website. I have fundraisers on here, and then future events that we have, pictures of past events that we've had with families. Let's see, another one we use a lot are the Bible studies. These are the group support that we have. All of them have the social media. You can click on all of those at the top. So just got a new database system put in place this year with our Ignite team, and finally have some forms available. Let's see, I'm not sure if it'll let me go to it on here. So now we can have forms directly from our website that pulls them into our database and then gives me reports and adds them automatically. So like this is one we have coming up next month, and the form's already on the website. We also have it set up where families can like apply for a grant, a counseling grant for their child right on the website. And so when they're with their provider or one of our partners, they can actually go on and help them apply for it right then, in case that's not a reality of them getting home and printing it off. So we're just trying to make it more user-friendly, more online options instead of things that people have to mail in to us. So again, here's just it's from our database, so it'll just pull their information and email me when somebody fills out these kind of forms. We also have like a contact page where they can do the same thing and sign up for newsletters and things like that. Nope. Got out of the cache. I don't even know how to say that. Let's see. I'll go down here. Yeah, this isn't correct. This isn't what it looks like right now. It's not showing up right with them redoing it. Is there anything you all in particular want to see or have questions about?
Where are your testimonials?
On our, well, so like on the message to parents, this just tells parents what, like that's me talking, and there's interviews and things like that on there too. On our Bible study page.
But your tagline is really, really nice. I mean, it's strong. But when I go to your website, I guess what I was thinking about is having what the benefits or what you do for people jump out with more specificity to me. I mean, that's my, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but
So we have it on our donate page, but not necessarily on our, at the big, not on our homepage. That's a really good suggestion. So like in this video, it's a lot of it's me talking, but then it's also some testimonials of parents. So if we jump like to this part. Then it does talk about them. And then on the Bible study page, there was testimonials about moms that went through our last Bible study on Zoom.
Right.
But you're right, it's not like on the homepage or anything, so that's a good idea.
I mean, going back to what John said earlier about the impact of, especially if you're looking for donations, I would think you would want that front and center. Whatever's going to make the biggest
Okay.
impact on your visitors to your website. That's I know enough to be dangerous about this stuff. I'm learning every time we get on these calls.
Okay.
But that's just a layperson,
I
observation.
agree with that, Warren. And one thing I noticed too, Tia Lynn, like I just clicked on your About Us section. Well, when I do that, the menu bar goes away. So I can't then go pick another area. I have to go click on the logo to go back to the homepage.
Well, you can go down to the bottom. The reason I did that is because if it's the page where it has the logo at the top with the red and it's the main menu, I can't do a landing page and make it more aesthetically appealing. So like, so part of that is like my lack of knowledge with websites, right? I mean, I would love to have it look nice at the top with a drop down menu, where there's like right here, there's a drop down menu to take you anywhere you want to go. So let me go to the blog page and I'll show you what that looks like.
It should be, there's probably like when you're in WordPress, and John probably knows more about it. When you're in WordPress though, there should be a setting on that menu where you select, does it
there
show
is
pages or
so
homepage
I can
only?
make it look like this. So I can, like, this is our blog page. It's the regular page. It's not a landing page. And it has this menu at the top. So you're saying you would rather see this at the top?
Well,
Yeah,
it's-
I'd rather see the menu no matter what page I'm on.
Yeah, to have like a theme that travels, like kind of like branding. You want your brand to be on all of your pages. You don't want it to be kind of eclectic because you got like different pages looking different ways. They're kind of like, am I on the same page? And especially for what they call the navigation breadcrumbs that find your way back to where you came from.
Okay.
Some people may not know how to get back to, they might not know to click the logo to get there or to click back, or, it depends on how often I shop online enough that I can figure it out. But
And what would be helpful, because like up here, there's only room for like, 4 things. I don't have room to put with the way that the website is set up. So like on, let's see. Let me just go here.
Can you put subcategories under the main categories?
No, I didn't know. That's the problem.
Because that's what we have.
I know. I wish I could, like right here, I wish I could have drop down menus when you hover over each one, so that when you go to that, so that all the options on our homepage, I'm trying to get back to.
well,
So
I
all
would
the
say it can be done. It's just figuring out how to, because again, I said, we've got Wix, so I'm not as familiar with WordPress, but I know on Wix, like you have to, once you create the sub menu, you have to then like tell it where to go. So they make it a little more
complicated.
like a version
That's a good idea,
that
though. If I could
maybe
figure
doesn't
that out.
include that.
I could figure out how to make I know how to go back and make the top of the page look that way. Now, it doesn't have our social media icons on it, which is a negative. But if I could do that with the drop down menus, that would be ideal. So that's at the top of each page for sure.
Can I ask a question? Just because I've never seen this before, over there on the left, where you've got your icons for Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, so forth and so on. What is the little blue square with the crown on it? What is that?
Oh, Sumo. It's,
Sumo.
yeah, it's a way to share.
That's a new one on me. Zoom
And
up.
I would say if you've got your social media links over on the side, do you need them on the bottom as well? Or maybe John can tell you why the photos aren't showing up.
A lot of it's probably showing up we're using them cache mode still, so it's Google doesn't have them, doesn't know them right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, once that gets done, I would say take a look at Cloudflare. That's it's a free service. Well, yeah, there's paid plans to it. Cloudflare, in case it happens again, will it's called Content Delivery Network. What it does is it's a very high speed cache of your website, so it speeds up a great deal. But also, if your site does go down again, it still serves out entirely as if it's still totally functional. It's something I use that's really good. It's also like free.
That's good to know. This is the first time it's ever done this, and it's just because Whitney told me I needed to fix that that not being safe website, and I did, but then I would have waited till after this meeting if I would have known that. So I'm so sorry. But I'm glad it's safe now. It's all fixed.
Yeah, it can take up to. It typically only takes a couple hours, but it can take up to 24 hours to propagate your DNS records.
Yeah, they said it would. They sped it up, so hopefully it'll be done within 4 hours. But
Thielen, one thing I would do, just because people these days tend to like to find things quickly and not have to read a bunch of stuff, is maybe on that homepage do kind of like a what we can help with, and then like a little bullet point list featuring like what you all, because you were talking earlier
good idea.
about that confusion of people not really maybe understanding what critically,
Okay.
you know.
That would be good to have at the top under the drop-down menu. So what we can help with, or our
Mhm.
services, or something like that. Our
Something
services.
front and center.
And on your About Us page, on my end, like when I get to the bottom and you've got the photos for the partners, they're like ginormous.
They're not usually. They're usually
Okay.
in a line across, and they just scroll. It just rotates.
Okay, I was gonna say I wouldn't make those ginormous either.
The photos of the people. What are you talking?
The logos of the
It's the
companies. our
logos
partners.
of other companies they partner with.
Sorry. Poor you.
Yeah, it's probably just Google being goofy.
Because I noticed in the About Me, I had to read quite a bit. And I think on that home page, if I could quickly see, you know, scan it and see, okay, can they help with what I need? And if you've got the little bullet point or something,
Right.
you know, doesn't have to be bullet points, but however you want to format it. But
Yeah, that would be good. That's a good idea.
and then people, I feel like people, they want to quickly know whether or not what you've got to offer is worth them spending 5 minutes to read.
Right.
Yeah, first impressions are very important. Yeah, because like the average attention span has been going down over the years. Now it's like click on it. Nope, I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's your first impression, and then maybe the second criterion that's most important is user-friendly and website. Would you
It's like
agree with that,
user
John?
friendly alongside mobile friendly, because so many people are using cell phones to navigate now. Just on the bus and the driving at the stoplight, whatever. The quick way of testing that is like what I was doing on mine is you can basically take your browser window and make it smaller, and that kind of gives you an idea how browser friendly it'll be or how mobile friendly it'll be. Because a cell phone, you're talking not 19 inches, it's 3 or 4 inches.
WordPress is pretty mobile friendly from what I've seen. I mean, I tested a lot on my phone. And I
Yeah.
used it.
Yeah, it
So
seemed okay.
It's pretty good for WordPress. But yeah, those are all good suggestions. So making the menu the same at the top. See, these buttons over here, though, they don't click to my Facebook page. And these are just like sharing the page to these platforms. These like go directly to our Pinterest page and go directly to our Facebook page. So I don't know where I could put those up here because there's not really a place in the top bar to put those. If I already had the menu.
If you're vertical, if the icons over there don't work, I mean, what you've got them on the top.
Well, these are like if you want to share this page to your own Facebook page.
I see. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
It's not like just taking you to ours.
Not a link. Okay.
I mean, I guess I could do it like in the title, whatever I have on the page. Oh, I know what the difference was. So this is why I don't have the same title at the top. So if I don't do my platform is WordPress hosted on Bluehost. This kind of page is done in Elements. It's a plug and play kind of thing that gives all the graphics and lets me plug in, videos. It's just it's kind of like Wix, the way that it works. I can't do this kind of page with the top landing page or the top page with the menus on it. That's why I did it this way. It's one or the other. So I can either use the WordPress typical, like our blog is done that way. I'm going to show you how plain it looks. I'm very, very, very limited on graphics and things when I do these kind of pages. See, it's just, there's no eye-catching anything about these pages.
Yeah, for a standard blog, yeah.
But when I do the other pages this way, that's how it is. And so when I don't have this menu at the top, I can do graphics and I can do other things. Well, it's not showing it well because it's in this mode right now, but there's a lot more color and a lot more pictures and graphics and let's see if donations. But like doing this kind of graphics is not a reality with those other pages. It just looks a lot different. Like I can't do any of this kind of stuff in that other layout. And that's just the limited use of this platform that I'm using.
That's just the WordPress, okay.
Mhm.
There's no workaround then. That is what it is.
There may be, but I don't know what that would be.
There-
That would take knowledge beyond my.
There are ways of
Yeah.
doing it using, it's called themes. I'm not great with WordPress. What we normally do is it's called a theme is basically a framework. And it's everything fits into top bar, body, footer, basically bottom bar.
Mhm.
And that kind of flows through everything. Like top and bottom always stay the same and everything else goes into the body of it. That's what you do if you're theming for it. That's something you just talk to web dev about. That's more artistic than technical. I'm not an artist. There are other platforms that do handle that better. One I would suggest taking a glance at is HubSpot. That is pretty nice for just doing HubSpot and DNN. I don't know if that's .NET Nuke is one I'm familiar with. Those handle HubSpot. I would probably take a look at first. It's pretty low cost, but it lets you modify your web page very easily by drag and drop. You can say, I want a picture here, drag, and it does this, and I want this here. And it does integrate. It has its own forms engine that will feed into this nice little database. And that's kind of what I use to talk to like my Facebook, my AdWords, and my Instagram. It all brings into one nice place for me. That's pretty powerful. I wouldn't necessarily say change everything, like forklift it all. But if this isn't doing what you want it to do, it's a good time to go hunting and see who else is out there that will do what you want to do. Because, it's kind of the different themes are kind of jarring when you switch pages.
Okay.
And your home page, you can improve that significantly. I think that'll help sustain interest in your site and maybe prolong the visit. So we have about 3 minutes left. Does anybody else have anything to add? I'd like to ask John if he could give us a 1 minute. John's new to the chamber. John, we appreciate you joining us today. And I want to give you an opportunity just to talk a little bit about what you do in your company. Before I do that, does anybody else have anything to say about any other advice for Tia Lynn? It's good to get to know you better, Tia Lynn, and what you do. And you have such a valuable service. We applaud what you do. We root for you. Pray for your success for sure. And hopefully we can have more conversations like this. Obviously, as you participate, if you participate each month, we'll be able to get updates on what's going on with you as well. So
I really appreciate all the feedback. I've got lots and lots of work to do. So I really appreciate it. At least I fixed 2 issues today. So that's good. That's a good start.
good. Thank you. So John, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, what you do?
John Miller. I'm director with Internetic. So we are an IT company. That's kind of a broad way of saying we do everything technology, except for websites. We are what's called managed services provider. So we provide, honestly, you probably go to the webpage to see everything we do, but we keep your stuff working. Our main goal is we keep your hardware, your software working so you can do your job and make it easier to do your job. So efficiency is our big thing. We typically work with corporations. So we work in between one person, and I think our biggest client is 60 people. I think somewhere in that range. We typically handle about 600 tickets a month, and our response time is usually under 10 minutes. So if you got a problem, we'll usually call you back within 10 minutes if we don't do it in that call. So servers, network, websites, mobility, so cell phones, iPads, things like that. We do almost everything. And if we don't do it, we can figure it out. We're pretty good about taking on challenges. We are always open to advice. Like, we don't charge for advice. If everyone in the group, if you have a question, definitely call me, email me, whatever. My team is the same way. If someone calls us, we had people that, like, just students call us and say, hey, my email's not working. I encourage them to tell them what the best we can. We may not be able to fix it. We will guide them the best route we can go. But mostly, it's hard to actually explain what we do without going into like this long thing. I'm not going to do it. Just go to our webpage and take a look at that. We have a lot of service offerings, training and coaching, assessments, and managed services are our main products. Otherwise, definitely for a TLN, take a look at some of those things. If you have any problems with or any questions about any of those, like the Cloudflare thing, I think in AdWords going to be some big confusion ones on those because those are kind of complex. Definitely give me a call or an email. I have no problem helping you try and figure those things out. That's what we do all day, every day. It's not a big deal to us. But we are based in just the quick stats on that, I guess. We're based in Middletown, across from Great Flood, UC Wicks. There's 5 of us in the group. We have been around for about 13 years. We've been around for a bit. We're not going anywhere.
Well, welcome. So glad you joined our group today. You added quite a bit of substance and technical knowledge. Thank you. And Wendy and Benny and Susan and Laura, Whitney, John, Tia, Lynn. What strikes me about this group and the one we had at noon is we have some pretty caring people here. And it's really, really refreshing to see how we can kind of undergird and support each other during times of difficulty like we've seen in 2020, right? So hopefully we'll have a better 2021. And thank you for joining today. And TLN, we wish you the best, and please keep us up to date. But I hope you all have a wonderful the rest of your day and the rest of your week. So also we have a calendar for 2021. I think Laura has the dates for each session each month. And right now, the way we're going, we're just going to do a 12 and a 3 because not everybody can make 12, not everybody can make 3. And we use calendar invites so we can garner a little more participation. But it's kind of nice having a small group as well because I think we can get more individualized attention, and feedback. So we want to grow. I know that, but I don't know if I'm double talking. I don't know how big we want to get on these kinds of meetings. So, well, thanks a lot, everybody. Nice to see you. Nice to see you all. Looking forward to the day we can get together in person for sure. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.